Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021, the album, Dad AF. Rock on, gold dust woman. Boost! How are you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. All right, let's get into this video. This is a pre-filmed video. Did you guess? Because you can see it's night outside. So this is the deal. Okay, I have a true crumb. I do have a true crumb cake in my kitchen that I could eat at any moment because I'm sure it's very, very good. I don't have that, but I do have some chocolate covered pretzels in there that they're dying for me to take them out and walk them around the house and eat them. Okay. Pretzel bites! Anyway, what was I saying? I don't even remember. Yes, this is a pre-filmed video, okay? Because with my good Judy Mel, I have a true crime book club. It's called a True Crime Book Club. And we are having our live book club discussion at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, which by the time that you watch this video, it has probably already occurred. But if it hasn't, then please come over and join us. It's on YouNow, which is linked below. Okay, people ask me why we do it on YouNow. It's because it's a good platform for us to be able to guest several people. So anyway, okay, and then I just want to relax the rest of the day. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to pre-film a bunch of videos on Saturday. This was about the 9th video that I made today. Hi, how are you? Worn out? No, I've got enough LaCroix to keep me going, except there's no caffeine in here, but I think I've had enough caffeine as it is. So I was going to have another Diet Coke, see, and I thought, well, you know what? You've had 2 coffees, and you've had 2 Diet Cokes, and I think that we need to go to the LaCroix. So I opened this blackberry cucumber LaCroix, which I actually reviewed on my review channel the other day, so go check that out. All right, I put up, now, the second video that I was supposed to post on Saturday, I actually posted as my first video today. So this is my second video that was gonna be my only video today, okay? So I want to also say that whatever drama pops off today, and I'm sure that there will be some, I'm sure, okay? Because these fools can't stay silent for even 1 hour. Whatever drama pops off, I will be back bright and early or whenever I get up on Monday, and I will be reporting on all of the drama that there is out there in the world. I will be reporting on all of it in 1, 2, or maybe even 3 videos that day to make sure I cover all of my bases. All right, let's get into this video. I put up a tweet up on Twitter, a tweet on Twitter, a tweet on a tweet on a tweet. Okay, and it said, and don't call in sick with the tweets. Thinking about doing a drama Q&A. Any questions related to any drama, let me know. If I use your question, I'll probably mention your Twitter handle in the video. Go! And you did. I got something like 156 responses or something like that. Let me see, I can tell you exactly how many I got. You guys are like, Peter, we don't care. I got 153. So I don't know what happened to the other 3 people. Let's go in here and let's see some of the questions that I got. Okay, Okay, your opinion on, this is from Serenity C. She said, your opinion on Patrick Star, please. Love you, Peter. So, I'm not sure if you mean my opinion overall on Patrick Star. I don't know if you mean on the recent situation that happened. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Patrick Star was at a dinner recently, and he got extremely lippy, and he appeared to have been drinking quite a bit, and it was caught on video, and it was put out there, I believe, by Nikita Dragon. It was on her, I don't know, her Instagram story is what I heard. And he's basically defending Nikita Dragon and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is what I think about Patrick Star. I think Patrick Star, other than the rare beauty thing, and the one time that he rolled his eyes, that's the kind of drama I miss covering back in the day, you know? But other than that, where he rolled his eyes at like a fan coming up to him at a meet and greet, other than those 2 pieces of drama, like Patrick Star has done relatively well in staying out of drama. I will tell you that when I started doing drama 4 years ago, and I saw Patrick in a video with Manny MUA, who I used to call Manny Mua. Hey, Manny Mua. I guess he shouted me out in a video and he said, the receipts, Whitney, boost. I mean, I don't guess. I know. I saw it for myself. But that was so nice, wasn't it? Anyway, I do have my Lunar Beauty lip gloss right here. Always. Anyway, I think it was like my boyfriend or something like that Manny did in this video, and then you couldn't see his face in the thumbnail, and then I watched it. It was Patrick Starr. It was like one of the first Beauty Guru videos I ever watched, because at the beginning of doing drama commentary, I started it talking about Jeffree Star and Kat Von D and their falling out. And then that went into me watching drama commentary channels. At that time, there were only 2. And I watched them and I was like, is this a thing? Like, I can't believe there are drama commentary channels out there. I know it's hard to believe, but I was like the 3rd one in that whole thing. So anyway, I started watching Manny and UA because on the side panel, they were talking about Manny. And I was like, who is this Manny person? So I went in and I watched a couple of Manny's videos. I watched his coming out video, and I watched his video that he did with Patrick Starr. And it just seemed like 2 friends that were talking about like going out to the clubs and stuff like that. And they were very likable. But had you asked me at that time, did I think that Patrick Starr would be as big as he is now? I would never have guessed it in a million years. Not that I didn't think that he was capable of it. Not that I didn't think that he was talented enough. I just didn't see it in the video. You know what I mean? And I really felt in that video that Manny overpowered Patrick, which maybe that's part of this friendship, you know, that has fallen apart. I think there is an inability for a lot of these influencers to be, and I'm not saying that I know this to be true about the 2 of them, because I don't, but I think that with all the influencers, I think there's an inability to be friendly with each other unless you take the competition factor away from it, unless you take the who's getting more views, who's getting more subscribers. I think it's actually a bigger issue than people ever want to talk about. I mean, if you want to go back to like Dramageddon with James Charles and Jeffree Star, really there was a huge part of that originated out of the fact that James Charles was getting ready to pass Jeffree Star in numbers, and they were kind of going back and forth, if you remember. I think that's a factor that most people don't really want to like remember, because then it's like, well, did all of this occur over numbers? I think a lot of it did. I think a lot of that is about numbers. At the time that all of that happened, if you remember, Jeffree Star was congratulating Tati on getting numbers. And then Tati also talked about how she didn't want those subscribers if it came out of drama. And there was all this talk about numbers. I think that there's a lot of ego and pride that goes into this, rightfully so, as human beings. And I think that it's hard. And you're talking about a lot of young people that this has kind of been their first thing that they've ever done in their lives. And so then all of a sudden they're pitted up against their friend, and they don't know what to do with that, you know? I think that that's why when you see some of these friendships, like Manny and Laura, for example, that there is no competition there, right? And that they are able to just be these genuine friends. And I think if you watch any interactions with Laura and Manny, like, they are genuinely, like, authentic, like, diehard, good Judies of each other. You can tell, like, they have each other's backs. And I think that that's so honorable in this community, because I don't think that we see that a lot. I think we've seen a lot of, like, clout chasers. I think we've seen a lot of, you know, coattail riders. I think we've seen all of that, right? But I don't know that we've seen very many true friendships over time. So, you know, I think there's a few, but I don't think we see many of that. I think Patrick Starr started playing his cards right and did stuff with Mac and, you know, then later like the Katy Perry house and all this kind of stuff. I think that he knew what he was doing enough to play his cards right. I think at some point, he's wanted to be part of this group, or maybe he's been in this group and he's stayed out of it and, like, hasn't shown himself publicly. But, you know, like, I've said this with James Charles for a long time. I believe that the TikTokers will drag James Charles down, because I think they're going to be the next group. I mean, they already are so highly problematic that I don't even think that we have any idea. I mean, when you look at beauty influencer drama today compared to where it was 4 years ago, I mean, it is literally 10 times worse than it was 4 years ago, okay? When you look at TikTok drama today compared to where it's going to be 4 years from now, I mean, it's going to be detrimental to these people's careers. And I think that James Charles right now thinks it's all just fun and games, and that's where the clout is. But I think that he doesn't really realize that these people have the ability to just drag him down like the sinking ship, too. I think these people need to all be very, very careful who they choose to hang out with, because I do think to some degree who you hang out with is representative of who you are as a person. I think Patrick Starr now hanging out with people, I think he needs to be very careful about that. I don't think it's a great look. But at the end of the day, nobody forced him to say what he said, and I think it looks classless and tacky. That's what I think. So as of right now, what do I think of Patrick Starr? I think he needs to come out and make some kind of apology for it. I think it looks bad, and but I think... yeah, I think it looks bad, but I think that, I don't think he feels like he owes it. The arrogance and the ego and the pride that goes along with these people is just beyond to me. Okay, so let's see. Someone said, what happened to Drew Monson? I have no idea. I really only watched Drew Monson because of Shane. I know that a lot of people have said that there's a lot of issues with Drew going on. I don't know that to be true. I found his humor, it wasn't humor that I loved, but I think he's a really likable character. I think he's super, super endearing, and I think that he is probably one of the most underrated, most creative people that I've ever seen. I almost kind of think that's what Shane was drawn to. I think Shane is almost kind of like a creative vampire, so to speak. I think he's drawn to people that almost are kind of like a little bit more creative than he is, but then he doesn't really know what to do with that. I think Drew was creative on a level that Shane could not tap into, and I think it was intriguing to Shane. Likewise, to me, it's intriguing. So, I don't know. I wish the best to Drew Monson, whatever he's doing out there. Okay. Meg's, and that was from CG. Meg said, if Trisha reached out and wanted to be friendly with you again, would you let her? If Trisha reached out to me and wanted to have a conversation, yeah, absolutely. I would 100% have a conversation. I think that there's a lot of accountability that I need to take in some of the situations between she and I. There's a lot that people don't know that happen behind the scenes. I would be more than willing to have that conversation. Do I want to be super good friends with Trisha Paytas again? I don't want to be super good friends. And I was never that great of friends with her to begin with. I mean, we were friendly to each other. And I would say we were more than just acquaintances at one point. But I don't want to be that close with any big influencer that I can't get on video and say my opinion and what I need to say without being worried that I'm going to be upset somebody, or, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to get on here and say what I want to say and say what I need to say for you guys, okay? That you guys, I didn't just give you the finger, I pointed. I know it looked like that, but I wasn't. But sure, like, I have no problem having a conversation with her. I think there's some accountability that needs to be taken on both of our parts. But if she doesn't want to do that, that's fine. I have no problem owning my part if she needs to hear that from me. You know, and yeah, I would absolutely have a conversation with her. And I wish her all the best, you know. I think, honestly, I'm very sad for Trisha. For what happened with Shane Dawson, and I'm very sad of the whole situation. Not because I know there's a lot of people that don't like Trisha, and I know there's more people that don't like Shane. Not because I think they're good people, and I feel sad about people, you know, that put negativity out there in the world. I'm not saying that. As human beings that I can be empathetic towards, as human, and I do see these people as human beings, and I think that's part of the problem for a lot of drama channels, is when we start talking to some of these people, they become human to us, and then it's like we see them in a different way, right? But anybody out there, okay? Like, I don't care if you're the worst person in the world, you know, like, well, I mean, maybe if you're a serial killer or something. But I got a true crime book club, so don't come for me. But, you know, like, I mean, it makes me sad that anybody loses a 10-plus year friendship. I can't even imagine. I mean, I've had my best friend for 23 years, you know? I can't imagine if tomorrow she wasn't in my life. I mean, she's been my heartstone. She's who I call, she's who I go to. I mean, everything except for what I get from my husband, you know? So I can't even imagine. But I am, you know, happy for Trisha that she found somebody, that she's getting married, and she's bought this house, and I wish her all the best. I hope she's happy, you know? I hope that, what I wish for Trisha is, because, you know, Trisha, I think people forget this. Trisha had a career on YouTube that got her successful before she was trolling. Or causing negativity, or causing problems, or whatever, okay? I wish she realized that she was good enough on her humor alone, or her interest factor of people. I mean, I like to watch Trisha's old videos when she did like favorites videos and stuff that weren't problematic, and they, you know, they weren't like, oh my God, I mean, I think most people go to Trisha's videos and they think, what's she gonna say, right? I wish she realized she's good enough, you know? I think part of why the Frenemies podcast is so good for her is because I think people get to see, like, when they're not fighting. When they're fighting, like, I have a hard time watching that. I don't like to watch anybody fight, you know what I mean? Like, who was I watching today? I was watching, did you guys know that Tom Daly and his husband have their own YouTube channel? Well, it's called Tom Daly, or Daily Diaries, or Daily News, or something like that. But it's Tom Daly and his husband, what's his name? Dustin Lance Black, I think, the director. They did this Q&A, and I know at first it was supposed to be kind of joking, but over time it became like, and I like them as a couple, like I really do. It almost became kind of cringy because his husband's jokes started becoming so sarcastic and kind of hurtful that, like, you could tell that Tom was kind of hurt by it, right? And that he didn't think it was funny. And I don't like to watch uncomfortable situations on YouTube. That's not enjoyable for me, okay? If you watch my YouTube history, I like to watch dog videos. I like to watch off-the-grid videos. I like to watch favorites videos. I like to watch review videos. Like, I don't like this, like, fighting kind of stuff. But when Trisha and Ethan are getting along on there, I think you see the spotlight shown on Trisha in a really positive way. I wish for Trisha she saw that. She saw that side, that the people that are Trisha stans and protect her, and they come to her and they say, I relate to you, you know, I see myself in you. I wish she saw that as enough. Like, but I don't know, maybe. But she's also, you know, like, who did she compare herself to back in the day? I can't think of his name. Hold on a second. Oh, shoot, Kaufman. Taxi, what was his name? TV show. Andy Kaufman, I think is his name. I'm almost positive it is. But she relates her, she has compared her comedy to him before, if you call it comedy, this kind of like not really understanding where it's coming from, you know, conceptual kind of comedic art. For me, there was a point when it crossed the line and I didn't think it was funny anymore, and that was where I just withdrew and stopped watching it. So, the Frenemies podcast, though, I mean, she said some things on there that are highly problematic, but other than that, it's been, you know, some of it's been enjoyable to listen to. Do you think this is from Johanna, do you think Patrick Star has drama for a new launch he may have coming up? If he has, it's bad drama for him. It's not going to work in his favor. I think the Selena Gomez thing was not good either. Do you think that Tana got away with the whole TanaCon disaster too easily? Absolutely, 100%. If it had been anybody else out there, if that had been Jenna Marbles, they would have just decimated her. Let's see. I'm like reading through some of these questions like, well, maybe I don't want to answer some of these questions. Do you know what ever happened between Shane and Drew? I have no idea. How about Drag Race drama? Your thoughts on the Candy Muse and Tamisha Iman situation? I actually talked about that quite a bit in a video the other day. I thought Tamisha Iman came into the room. If you watch, I'll make this quick for those of you that don't watch Drag Race. I thought Tamisha Iman came into that room with an agenda, and she was ready to poke the bear that was Candy Muse. And I think Candy Muse reacted and was not responsive. I think Candy Muse knows that her hysterics make for good TV, and she's getting a lot of spotlight. I do think that too. I think she saw that with Aja, who she used to be in a house with, and I think she knows the louder she is, people are going to pay her a lot of attention. I think that Tamisha Iman should have just, she's a class act. She should have just come in there and just not said a whole lot about it. But I do think that Candy Muse is, I think people are afraid of her. I think they're afraid to tell her, like, not afraid, you know, afraid. But I think they're afraid to tell her what they really think of her, or like, I don't know. But the thing is that I think what she doesn't realize is, and I've been, you know, in the past where I've had to work on my tone and how I speak to people and things like that. I think what you don't realize in that moment is, okay, maybe like, you feel like you're getting a lot of attention or people are siding with you or whatever, but you're not really being heard. If you want people to really, really hear you, you have to speak with a gentle heart and a gentle tone and really allow them to talk, and you listen as well. You know, and she didn't do that in that moment. And I think that would have been such a prolific moment for her to just shut her mouth for 2 seconds and listen to what Tamisha Iman had to say and respond to her and say, you know what, maybe I need to think about that. Maybe what you're saying to me. Can you imagine how that would have turned? I mean, people would have loved Candy Muse for that. And not just for a moment because she's reading somebody and letting them have it, but because she's actually showing some cathartic growth and change. And I think that if she had shown that on there instead, I think it would have been a completely different thing. Jody said, I wish Gabby would come forward and speak her truth. I'm so curious about what she has to say. Gabby Hanna needs to come out and speak her truth, okay? Instead of putting out all of these subtweets. That to me says she wants to so bad, and you know she's talked about to everybody in the industry, because I think that Gabby Hanna is just as much a gossip as the rest of them are. Well, I know she is, because she talked to me about half of this stuff. Okay. Emmy said, what is the most surprising drama you have ever heard talked about in a video? Love you, Peter. Can't wait to hear you sing and hear you answer some questions. The most surprising drama I have ever covered. The most surprising drama, like, that I sat down, I was, like, just blown away, like, I can't believe this has happened. I have to tell you, I was pretty blown away by Shane Dawson getting an Instagram video and responding to Tati the way that he did. I just was like, I can't believe you're really showing your true colors like this, but more power to you. I hope it works to your advantage. I think we saw that it didn't. I think that's the most surprising drama to me is that Jeffree Star continues to just, after one drama after another, I think it's almost people are kind of immune to it at this point, that people just really continue to stick by him through it all, which, like I say, you know, watch who you want, put your money in those people's pockets and whatever. It's really surprising to me. I mean, Jeffree Star has probably been more involved in more drama than anybody I can think of on YouTube ever. And the fact that people just excuse it completely away is just, I mean, it's it's really a phenomenon of its own. It's really unbelievable to me. And I think it really is at the point where, like, he told, I can't remember who he told, I think that Tab Davis, that he can't be canceled. I really think that he truly believes that. I don't, you know, that's where I'm like, I don't know that I really believe in cancel culture, you know, as long as he just keeps on trudging forward. I think that, you know, I think he knows, like, what, I'm not going to address it, so everything will be fine sooner or later, and he just kind of moves on, does his thing. Okay, let's see the next thing. Hold on, I am old school, you guys. I still have a mouse that I use. Okay. Marge said, do you think Jeffree, Shane, and Rylan would disappear off YouTube if people just stopped watching their content? Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, but that would be with anybody, don't you think? Let's see. Some of the stuff I don't know anything about. Jennifer said, what keeps you interested in the beauty community, especially going on 4 years? Love you, Peter. Thank you, Jennifer. You know, the thing that keeps me going is it's very much like me watching reality TV. I love the Real Housewives of, like, Orange County and Beverly Hills, and Salt Lake City is my new fave. I can't wait till the reunion next week. And Atlanta. Oh, I love Atlanta. And I'm a Cynthia, Portia, and Candy fan for life, and Marlo is probably my favorite from Atlanta. She has been for years. I know, not a popular favorite, but Marlo, I love her. She's my favorite. I wish she and I were good Judies. But anyway, you know, I think for me, it's very much like watching a reality show. And when people are like, but this is real people's lives, but that's real people's lives as well. And they're getting paid for it on television to watch it. And these YouTubers are getting paid for us to keep up with the drama, because it's kind of like, so I come from a writing background, and when you are an author and you're putting books out there, publishers and literary agents will talk to you about the world of the author, that you have to build up this world of this author. Like, maybe not 100 years ago, maybe not 50 years ago, but today, people want to see their authors active. They want to see them have social media accounts. They want to know what they're doing, because if I can get interested in the author, like John Green has been fantastic with this, right? With his Vlog Brothers on YouTube. It's, well, I think part of the reason why Fault in Our Stars did so well. So if people can get interested in the life of the author, then they're going to get interested in whatever the author puts out and want to buy it. Well, this is, the beauty influencer community has monopolized this, right? Or, you know, they have made so much money off of people being interested in their life, okay? I mean, if Jeffree Star, if every other video that he did was just a review video, and you didn't know anything about his life, and you didn't see his Instagram, and you didn't, half the people that are interested in him would not be interested in him. That's the truth, okay? So, I mean, are you telling me that the reason that Shane Dawson's palette, the conspiracy palette, sold out, are you telling me it was like the #1 seller of that year, of probably any palette? Are you telling, any influencer merch ever, and I do consider it merch, are you telling me that you think that that sold out because it was the finest palette that had ever been put out there before? No, that's not the truth. That's not the case at all. The reason why Shane Dawson sold out was because people were interested in the life of Shane Dawson. And he is completely used that to his advantage, right? So now that people are still interested in the life of Shane Dawson, he doesn't know what to do with this, right? Because this is a completely different side of his life. He's like, well, I don't know that I want to show all of that. And I think it's been a lot of smoke and mirrors. I think what we saw, like I said in the Tati thing, this is why it is so interesting to me, is we saw the truth behind the veil of Oz. We saw who Shane Dawson really is in that moment. And quite frankly, we saw who Rylan Adams is too, when he came out on Twitter and said the tweet where it's like, don't tray me today and all that kind of stuff. And he's in the background of the video, you know? It's like, that's the real Shane Dawson. So I don't know, after everything we've seen in the last year, would you still buy the conspiracy palette? So why did you buy it back then would be the question. Because you loved Shane and you loved the world of Shane Dawson. I mean, I don't think most people bought it because they thought it was the most fantastic, you know, you bought it because of Shane Dawson. I mean, like, that's the reality, right? So, that's probably the most interesting, let's see, there's probably some other interesting drama that has come out, most surprising drama. Oh, I don't know. I would have to go back through my videos and see about that. When do you think Shane and Jeffree will fall out? I think they already have. I think Jeffree is probably seriously... Jeffree Star is a businessman through and through. I think that Shane is emotionally led. I think Jeffree Star is distancing himself and probably placating Shane and just being like, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And I think it's probably driving Jeffree Star crazy because for him, it's done. We're moving on to the next release, the next launch. I'm done with this. And I think he's already distancing himself, and I think Shane knows that, and I think Shane is between a rock and a hard place because Shane is like, well, what do I do? Like, you know, it's interesting because I thought to myself, I mean, he never would, but what would you do if Shane called you up and said, what do you think I should do? I mean, I have a lot of feelings about that I probably wouldn't share on camera. But, you know, like, in that situation, I think, like, it's going to be interesting because, you know, here Shane has now indirectly come out against his closest friend. People are seeing his true colors through Ryland on the SIP and other things. They seem very desperate to me, and they also seem like they're hiding from all these issues. I mean, if you go to any of Ryland's videos, literally underneath it just says, Shane needs to address this, Shane needs to address this, Shane needs to address it. And then you see a video clip like we just saw, you know, and I'm like playing with Sharpies right now. Don't you love Sharpies so much? I keep all of my pens right here, and this is coffee beans. And I keep my pens in there. I don't know where I saw that, like a bookstore or something. But anyway, and then this is the coolest thing ever that somebody sent me. Do you see what it is? Now let me show you what you do. You put your reading glasses on it like this. There's a little hook that sits on there behind there. Is that not so cool? Anyway, it works usually. Okay, and then I have this Post-it note thing that's a piece of junk. And it's always empty. I think Shane is kind of like, I don't know what to do because I got sold at the river. And I have done all of this out of dedication to Jeffree Star, whether there's a contract, an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, or for whatever reason, he hasn't come out against Jeffree Star. Or maybe he just really truly believes that Jeffree Star has his back and is really a good a friend as he is. It is interesting to me that Ryland referred to him in the SIP as we are friendly with Jeffree Star. He didn't say Jeffree's one of our very best friends. I would have almost understood if Ryland had said that. Like, we understand that Trisha's upset with us, but Jeffree's one of our best friends as well. Like, that almost would have made more sense to me. But the fact that he only referred to him as somebody that he's friendly with was either like he was being very careful, or that really is what's going on and they're really not talking to Jeffree. I have to believe it's kind of that a little bit. And I think Shane's kind of like, now what do I do? You know, and I don't have anybody to back me up at this point. Well, didn't your mama ever teach you don't put all of your eggs in one cart? What is it? Or don't count your chickens before they're hatched. But that doesn't apply, does it? Okay. Let's see. Oh my God. All these are about Shane. Donna said, do you think Shane actually gives a SHI tote about his fans, or will he ride off on his red horse never to be seen again? I do think that Shane cares about his fans. I think he cares more about himself than he cares about his fans. But I do. But I don't think that he can understand how anybody is critical of him right now. I mean, I think there's so much ego and pride there that I think that that stands in the way of him being able to see why people are upset with him. I just don't think he gets it, you know? Somebody here, oh, Cooper used my picture. Oh, I love it. Okay, thank you. They said, is Jeffree Star actually the ultimate social climber he accuses others of being? Love you, Peter. Thank you so much for being a part of my day. Yes, absolutely, and so is Shane Dawson. But I don't, did you hear that? But, I don't think that they would ever call themselves that. I think, like, Shane Dawson was really good at finding new and upcoming YouTubers, doing videos with them, and kind of cross-pollinating their audiences. It looked to everybody else like Shane Dawson was building up their career, which he was doing, but at the same time, he was building his career off of that as well. Jeffree Star did the same thing, so... I mean, it is kind of interesting that Jeffree Star's not gaining any numbers on Social Blade. I actually haven't looked at his Social Blade in a while. Let's see. Jeffree Star isn't gaining any, I don't think. He wasn't the last time I looked. Any subscribers on Social Blade. Not at any kind of like level that he was before, where it was like, you know, 1 million a week or something. So he's not gaining many subscribers. Oh no, wait. Yeah, he's lost 200,000 in the last 30 days. So, you know, I mean, I think that's interesting to me. I think if he was doing videos with other people, would it build him up? Yeah, probably. But, I mean, who's he going to collab with? Let's see. Do you believe Tati will return and her viewers will be receptive? I don't think Tati will return. I don't know. For a while, I thought she would. I don't know why I get this feeling. I have a feeling that just like, I don't know what she'll do. I think maybe she's focused on other personal issues right now. And I think that at some point, she'll come out and make a statement or put up a little video. I don't think she's going to come back at the capacity that she did before. Do I think that she'll keep her brand? I don't even know about that. And I don't follow anything to do with the court case, so I don't know anything about that. My video stopped. Something that happens on my vlog, but never happens on my drama videos. I was reading from Princess Anastasia, I think was her name. Hold on a second. Princess Anastasia. Do you think Shane will make a comeback this year? P.S. Love you, Peter. Thank you for being the best. Judy. Oh, I love you too. I think Shane will come back. I don't know if it will be like a comeback, if that makes sense. I think it depends on how you, define that. I think Shane will, I really at this point am pretty clueless about what he'll do. I thought I had it figured out, but I don't know. I think he's constantly changing it and figuring out what he's going to do. I really am leaning towards, I think he'll just come back and do whatever he wants to do. I think he's at a point now where he's just like, screw this, I'm just going to come back and do what I want to do. Or he won't come back at all. I think it's one or the other. He's put too much out there now for him to come back and do this whole like, I've changed kind of video and I need to take responsibility for it. There's been too much that shows, like Trisha Paytas really, I mean, if that was his plan and Trisha knew that, she like really threw a wrench in that plan, you know what I mean? So, and maybe that's what she was doing on purpose. I don't know. But like, if he was going to do that and now he's come out and he's just like, I don't care anymore, I'm going to do what I want to do, then yeah, I think he'll come back and I think he'll get tons and tons of views and I think he'll get a lot of, you know, people will be talking about it because I think people will be like, oh my God, Shane's back. Let's see what's going on. But I think over time it'll fade. I think Shane's day in the sun is over. I think that he'll have followers always, stans. You know, I mean, Shane's in his 30s now. I mean, you know, I think as he gets older, not as many people are gonna be as interested. I think he banked too much on the end of that part of that career on ego and pride, and I can do anything, and I'm pretty untouchable. And I think it was a far fall from grace that he took. And I think to get back up there again, I think is really, really difficult. Do I think that he'll come back to some capacity? I mean, I think people forget sometimes. There are YouTubers that have astronomical amounts of followers on YouTube, and then they just kind of leave and don't come back ever. I mean, like, let's look up Michelle Fan for a second. Is it? I think she did make she recently came back, but I don't think she's getting very many views whatsoever. So if you look at, I mean, she has her skincare line, 8.85 million subscribers, okay? And let's see her views on her videos. Last month, 299,000. 2 months ago, 318,000. The month before that, 354, 937. That was pretty good. But I mean, she's getting between 2 and 300,000 mostly views per video, and she has 8.85 million subscribers. Okay, so you know, like you look at that. Then look at like Tyler Oakley, who has lost tons and tons of subscribers, and who knows why. In the last, he actually just exited off of YouTube for a while and said, I'm taking a break, I don't know when I'm going to come back. And it was called See You Later. That's his most recent video. But if you look at his videos, he has 7.05 million subscribers. And he had, I know people don't think I watch this stuff that closely, but I really do. I mean, I play dumb a lot, but I know more about this stuff than I act like it. But he, you know, he had over 8 million subscribers, and he's lost 1 million subscribers in the last year or 2 years. He's getting 82,000 views, 99,000 views, 71,000 views, 48,000 views, 25,000 views, 27,000 views, 40,000 views. I mean, he's got 680,000, no, that's not right. He's got 6,800,000 more subscribers on YouTube than I do, and he's getting the same views as me on some videos. Like, that's crazy, okay? So do I think that Shane can make a comeback? Yeah, I think that Shane can make a comeback. Do I think that his career will be the same as it was before? No, and I think that he knows that. I think for Shane, it's hard because he's like, what do I do to get that back? But I don't know that it ever is, you know? I think, you know, like, I've talked about this before, but I had a friend of mine back in the day, and she lost her job, and I called her up, and I said, you know, how are you doing? And she said, you know, like, I got written up and fired for, like, 10 things, and that I didn't even know that I had done. She was like, if I had gotten fired for one thing, like, I would have totally understood that. But, like, 10 things, like, being late, you know, doing this, like, you know, not showing up at, like, you know, the Christmas party. I mean, it was all these, like, random things. She's like, it's just like they obviously just wanted me gone, you know? And I think about that with Shane sometimes. It's like, it's not just one thing. It's not just 2 things. It's not just 3 things. It's, like, 20 things, right? So, for the people that, like, are excusing it, like, you're excusing a lot, right? Which is fine. Follow who you want to follow. But I think Shane knows that. I think he is unredeemable in some people's eyes. Zachary Michael said, he's so hilarious. What's the reason you're not talking about tuna casserole anymore? Because I do all the time in my cameos. Oh, hi, Jane. How are you? Okay, let's just take a couple more questions because this is getting really long. Do you talk to any other, or are you friendly with other drama channels? Yes, I am. Let's see. Do you, okay. Patrick Star, oh, everybody's asking about the Patrick Star thing because it just happened. Who should be canceled next? See, that's where I don't feel like people, I don't know. Like, I don't know that I really feel like people should be canceled. I think it's, like, up to you to choose who you, I mean, you guys are YouTube. You're YouTube. It's up to you who you want to watch. What influencer are you closest to? What influencer do you look up to? Oh, that's a good question. What influencer am I closest to? Who do I talk most to that's an influencer? None of them. I don't talk to any of the influencers anymore. Well, I will tell you, I sent Jaclyn Hill a message about her dog's eyelashes because I thought they were so cute, and she responded, and that was very, very sweet. Raw Beauty Christie has shouted out my Peterson's channel, which was very, very nice. Manny, I actually would probably say Manny, but that doesn't stop me from covering drama on Manny if something big would come up, and he knows that. But I would say I'm very friendly with Manny, and other than that, I would say one of my favorite people of life is Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb. He is my fellow Hoosier YouTuber over here in Indiana, and he's probably the one that I stay in the most contact with. So, Wes, I love you. If you guys want to watch a great cooking channel, I will link him below. Go check it out. Okay. Let's, okay, my battery died, so let me get back to this. Sarah asked, has anyone ever tried to bribe you not to cover something or take down a video? Not like, hey, I don't like that, please take it down. More like, don't tell anyone, here's $1,000. Well, first of all, I've never had an influencer ask me to take down a video, I don't think. I've never had an influencer ask me to take down a video. Second of all, no, I have never had anybody offer me any money, cash money or any PR, nothing. I've never had anybody offer me exchange of services to do a video or to not do a video. And I have to tell you, I have talked to a lot of drama channels, and I have never once heard any drama channel tell me that they have experienced anything like that. So, yeah, I think that's kind of like a mystique out there of drama channels, but no. Okay, let's see. Okay, Maya said, have you considered covering different beauty influencers and their drama as opposed to Jeffree, Jaclyn, James, etc., considering that you yourself have admitted to not wanting to bring attention to such low, I don't know that I said that, but not complaining about who your currently report discussed, just I'm curious. I mean, yeah, if a story comes up and I feel like it's a big enough story that needs to be discussed, sure, I will, right? But the reality is, if I did a video on somebody that, like, nobody really knew about or cared, like, and I won't cover a story if I don't know a lot about it. I think that's important, you know? Then if somebody just posted a funny picture, I'm, like, looking down at it, or they didn't just post it, but they had posted it and I just saw it. But if it's something that I know something about or I look into, sure, you know? It's just like, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that I don't cover because I don't like, I mean, I don't do Ace Family videos because I don't know anything about the Ace Family, and quite frankly, I don't want to know anything about the Ace Family. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, do you, if that's who you love to watch, but I don't know anything about them, you know what I mean? So I don't do those kind of videos. But I mean, there are other people out there that do. So yeah, this is what I enjoy doing. I mean, this is kind of like, to me, like the Real Housewives, like I said, of the beauty industry. And these are like the players in it for me, you know? Let's see. Oh. Okay. Teresa said, do you think James Charles gets away with current scandals because everyone feels guilty for contributing to the decline of his mental health in 2019? I feel he's not held to the same standards as other influencers. I see more hate directed at the D'Amelios and their mentor. And somebody said, totally agree. I think the D'Amelios are new, and I think people aren't used to them yet. And so I think a lot of people are coming for, like, their mistakes quicker. I mean, when James was early, people were coming for his mistakes quicker, too. You have to remember that, right? I think that James had, he's kind of like Jeffree Star to some degree. He had so much drama that people covered so much that I think, and to be honest with you a little bit, I think people don't really care, or I think, honestly, like, James continues to do good with a certain audience, but I would really like to see his analytics to see who is watching him, because I have to believe it is so heavily laden. I just don't think 30-year-olds are watching James Charles. I just don't think there's a ton of people out there in that age group. I think he is such a specific age group, and I think he needs to be very careful of that as he gets older, too. Because if that doesn't transcribe as he gets older, and he keeps on doing these, like, you know, younger videos, I think people will be like, okay, like, I don't relate to this at all, you know? And I think that he'll lose his audience over time. He needs to be careful of that. I just think people aren't that interested in the drama to do with James Charles anymore. You know, it's interesting. Like, I can do a video about somebody, and if I post it, you can tell, like, what people are interested in and what they're not. Like, I did a video tonight about Patrick Starr and Jaclyn Hill, and nobody cares, okay? I mean, like, that tells you. But if I put a video up there, and it has something to do with Shane and Trisha, people will watch it. And maybe that's just because currently that's what the drama is going on. But I think that has a lot, you know, like, I think people are just like, James is kind of off the radar right now. Lo asked, how is the hunt in finding Manny MUA a man? I'm looking. Y'all, you know what I think I was thinking about doing? Don't you think it would be a fun idea if Manny and he let me host it? If Manny and I did a matchmaker show where I found and interviewed the people for Manny's boyfriend for 2021. Don't you think that would be a great show idea? Go tell Manny. I think that'd be a great show idea. Okay, let me get one last, thing up. Let's see. This camera is giving me such trouble tonight. Okay. One last question. Terry said, what would you say if Shane Dawson called you and wanted to apologize? Love all your channels, Peter. Well, I think people want the popular opinion that I just wouldn't take the call, or I would say, forget you, or whatever. But, you know, for me, you know, YouTube and my personal life merge at some point, and the person that I am is a forgiving person and an understanding person. And I would have a conversation with Shane Dawson. I definitely would have a conversation with him. I would want to understand why he, and I think this is in relation to hearing that I've heard now what he said about me behind my back. You know, I think it's child's play. I would want to understand why he felt the need to call a total stranger almost and talk to him about me, but then meet me face to face and present so completely differently. I mean, we were both grown adult men when that happened. I don't play games like that. So it's like, can you explain to me what that was about? And if he could explain it to me and say, and this is what I've learned from that, and this is who I want to be going forward, and I apologize and I hurt your feelings, I would accept his apology. I have no problem. I have no reason not to. You know, I think forgiveness, and I talk about this a lot, defined by Oprah, and I love this quote, and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like Oprah, but I do. She said, you know, forgiveness is accepting that what happened in the past happened. Not that what happened was okay, but that it happened. Now what are you going to do with it? I choose in life to move through the pain, to move through the things that we happen, to forgive the people in my life that ask for forgiveness. Why would I not? Okay? And continue to grow on a daily basis from everything that I've learned. And I have to tell you, you know, quite often, I learn from a lot of these people that I cover. I learn from their stories that happen to them. I learn from their situations. I try to humanize it, and I try to look at it from all sides. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I love you guys, and I hope that you are enjoying your Sunday. Bye.